everyone, my name is Sumedha Mohan and I'm a high school senior from Lagos, Nigeria. Today, I'm here on behalf of the Teen Pop magazine. The Teen Pop magazine, which is the first online magazine for high schoolers that allows young aspiring journalists to share their voice, build their writing portfolio, and receive peer feedback and mentorship in the editorial industry. If you'd like to write for them, check out their website, theteenpop.com. Today, I'm in conversation with photographer Jessilynn Wong. Jessilynn photographs weddings because she loves real-life love stories. She loves capturing the quiet, the fun, and the joyful moments that make up a wedding. Memories, they fade over time, but photographs, they are the one way to make sure that they last forever. Jessilynn is here to save those memories for you too. So Jessilynn, how are you doing today?
Really good. It's so fun to chat with you today.
Likewise. So I really hope that your friends and family, they're all safe and healthy, during the pandemic.
Absolutely. Yeah. And yours as well. My family's doing well. Thanks for asking.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So let's get down to this interview. First things
Absolutely.
first, when did you know that this is what you wanted to do, that you wanted to capture beautiful memories through your camera?
It all started when I was in high school. I really knew when I was a really young girl that I always wanted to be in the arts. And when I was in high school, I went to a high school that had a lot of extracurricular activity. So there was photography, there was sewing, there was cooking classes and all that kind of stuff. And when I started taking photography class, I really started to fall in love with it. And I loved the process of taking photos, and I loved using it as a way to connect with people.
So how did it make you feel? This is something that you look up to all your life to finally figure out what you want to do for the rest of it, right? So what was that one moment like? How did it make you feel?
For a long time, I struggled with the idea of being a photographer because there just wasn't a clear path. With other jobs, it was like you become a doctor, there's like a clear way to do it. And of course, with my parents, they definitely didn't want me to become a photographer because they didn't know anybody who was, and they didn't think I would be successful being a photographer. So for a long time, I just did it on the side. It was a hobby. And then, every so often I would think, that this is really what I love. I would much rather do this than the other things I'm putting my efforts into. And I finally took the leap. I think about 5 years ago, I moved to Toronto, and I thought, if I don't try to be a photographer now, when am I going to try to do it? And so I just took a big leap of faith, and it was really scary, truthfully. But it's become so rewarding, and you really do know when you're doing the right job because it's so fulfilling, and you're so much happier than you were doing whatever it was before. I think everyone has a skill and ability and something that they can offer to the world that is different and unique to them. And I think you just have to really search for that.
That's so true. Like you get one life, you've got to make the most of it. You don't get a second chance for
girl. That's right. Exactly. You just got to go for things.
So we all have firsts, right? So nobody forgets them. Do you remember your first photographic shoot?
It was for my photo class. I was learning how to shoot on film, and I had a new camera, and I didn't really know what I was doing. And the first photos that I took were of my sister in our house. I dressed her up, we put makeup on her, and then I was like, do this and do that. And I thought I was going to be a fashion photographer. So I got her to like dress up and like make moody faces at me like a fashion model. And that was really fun. And I still have those photos, and I was super into it. I thought it was really fun and cool.
That is so amazing. That is so cool. I experiment on my siblings all the time. So I know what that's like.
Yeah.
So do you use any specific equipment for your shoots? Any specific brand or something like that?
Yeah, so I shoot with Nikon gear right now. So I shoot with two Nikon D750s, an 85 lens, a 50 mil, a 35, and a 24 to 70 lens. Yeah, all the portrait lenses basically.
Okay, great. And how do you prepare for your photo shoots? The back work that goes into it.
Absolutely, that's such a great question. So over time, I've definitely develop a process. So either I've scout the location ahead of time. So I go, I look at the park or the venue that we're going to go photograph, and then I get some ideas on how do I want to use that location and where do I want my clients to be? How do I feel would really work well, especially with their style and their personalities. So for instance, if it's something like their venue and they booked it, I'll say like, what was your favorite part of the venue? And then I'll concentrate some of my efforts in their photos onto it. So for instance, I had a couple who was like, we booked this venue because we love the stairs. So I made sure a lot of their photos were centered around the stairs. Or if there's a beautiful garden, I make sure that there are a lot of photos centered around the garden, just that way that they're receiving the things that they're looking for in their photos. Aside from doing things like checking the venue, if I don't have a chance to check the venue, Google Maps is extremely helpful in that way. There's lots of photos that you can view of the area if you can't visit the area. And then aside from that, it's things like cleaning my gear, preparing for things, making sure I know where I'm going that day, and having like a little list of a questionnaire of things that they want photographed, and making sure I have those ready to go.
Yeah, you've got the whole pre-planning thing. You've got your game on. That's clear.
I've got it down to a pat.
That's brilliant. So, one thing which I truly believe is that many people get very conscious in front of a camera, right? They start becoming shy and nervous, and that could sort of ruin the mood of the picture. So, how do you make sure that the couples you're photographing are comfortable and are at ease during the shoot?
That is such a good point, and so many of my clients ask me the same thing. A lot of people feel very nervous in front of the camera. For a lot of people, their wedding is the very first time they're in front of a professional camera. Aside from your school photos, it's probably one of the first times you're in front of a professional camera. And I think it makes everybody nervous, especially on a day like your wedding where everyone is staring at you. And so often what I get them to do is, if we're able to do it, I'll do a pre-shoot with them. So I'll do an engagement shoot with them. That way we can work together. They get to feel comfortable working with me. So the first time they're working with me is their wedding day. If the first time I'm working with them is their wedding day, that's fine too. I really let them know that I'm there for them and I'm there to really help bring out the best in them. I'm not there to kind of like be sneaky and take photos of them that are unattractive. So part of it is chatting with them beforehand and letting them know what the day is going to look like, how I'm going to work, how I want to help them out throughout the day. And then it's photographing them in a way that's not so much posy. So I try not to tell people like stand here, look at me, and then turn your head down and then do that kind of thing. Because I feel like the more you kind of tell people what to do, the more uncomfortable they get, because the more aware of themselves they are with you. I really get them to try and play and have fun and have a good time together. So I'll just say things like walk away from me, whisper in each other's ear, cuddle up with each other, have a really good time, tickle each other, like joke around with each other, say all the funny names that you have for each other. And I find in those moments is a lot of fun and a lot of natural moments, which I really like capturing.
Yeah, absolutely. Communication is the key to everything. So once you have like a good flow with them, everything's set. That's
Absolutely.
brilliant.
You're
So
totally right. You're right on top of it.
okay, so a photograph is just one moment, right? It's a picturization of
Yeah.
just a split second. So how are you able to figure out that that is the moment that is going to communicate it all?
That is such a good question, because it's like the difference between our time now and our parents' time is that they were working with film. And so they really only had, a few shots that they had a chance to get. And with our modern time, we have digital cameras, so we can take so many more photos. And the number of photos I deliver to my clients are like hundreds of photos, whereas maybe our parents got like 2 or 3 photos of their wedding day. And I think during a wedding, there's lots of magical moments, and there's lots of in between moments, like people hugging their parents, people really enjoying their celebration and things like that. For the key moments, I feel like part of it is experience and knowing when something's about to happen. And sometimes it's just having your eyes out and being aware of something really great in front of you. And I think you just know because you feel that tingle inside and you feel really good. And I think those moments mean a lot to me when you see something happen, even if it's something like them hug each other after the ceremony or them reach for each other's hands. I find that like really, really, really has a lot of feeling and it's very heartfelt, and those meanings mean a lot to me, probably more than maybe someone else seeing it. But I think it means a lot to my clients and it means a lot to me, so it works out.
Yeah. And I've generally noticed, right, that artists sort of have like the seventh sense or like a spidey sense because they're able to sense these beautiful moments that a normal eye would generally not catch, right? So I think that is absolutely incredible about anybody in the arts industry because they sort of see the unseen in the scene, right? And that's just beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell
Yeah,
us
you feel that
about,
little tingle, and I feel it's like the
yeah,
creative tingle in you. Yeah.
yeah. So which has been the biggest challenge that you have faced so far in the photography industry?
Girl, I think it's the same one that everyone has faced lately. It's the pandemic, of course. I hate to bring it up over and over and over again, but it's currently the way we're living, and I think adapting to it has been my biggest strength. But I would say the greatest weakness for all of us right now is the pandemic because it's certainly changed the way weddings are, and it's limited the number of people who can attend weddings and how people celebrate. So a number of people have rescheduled the wedding or they've canceled the wedding. But people who decide to go forward with the weddings and have a smaller wedding are just as happy as the people who have really big weddings too.
Yeah, the pandemic really changed things for everyone. That's true.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, so tell us about your style of photography and what you wish to convey with your photographs.
Absolutely. I would say that my style of photography is more on the candid side. It definitely seeks to find those little hidden moments and those moments when people aren't really paying attention, and also when people are being their most natural. I really aim to photograph people in a way that really shows who they are, that they're able to be their authentic selves. I also would say that my work is more on the city side. It definitely is definitely more urban, more city like. I get a lot of couples who are more, I would say, modern. Mhm.
That's wonderful. Um, now let's get down to a little bit of fun. And I love this. This
Okay.
is the
All
rapid
right.
fire round. So,
Okay.
simple rules. I'm going to ask you 5 questions and you're going to answer
Okay.
them as quickly as you can.
Okay. I'm ready.
Okay, great. So,
Okay.
your first question, what was the
Yeah.
dreamiest couple shoot that you've ever done?
You know, I hate to pick a favorite because they're all amazing couples and I've loved every session. Always one session after the other is different from each other. One of my favorite sessions though has been in Banff. I'm originally from Alberta where the Rocky Mountains are. And so I grew up going to the Rocky Mountains. So being there, having the mountains there and being there with a couple, like really bring me a sense of peace and really bring me a sense of home. So that was really fantastic. And I loved doing that.
Nostalgic. Yeah, that's nice.
Mhm.
What has been your best souvenir from your photo shoots?
The photos. Yeah, the
Oh,
photos are the biggest takeaway, but also having my couples be really happy with the experience. I think for everyone else, the photos are what people see, but for me, I actually get to be there with the couple and having them feel good about what has happened and feel good about the experience makes me feel good and makes me know that the photos that we've made together are going to be really special.
that is so beautiful. Okay, what would be
Yeah.
the one place that you would recommend to the couples to do their photo shoots at?
You know, I always like going to somewhere new and unique. So I love when people tell me something that I've never been to before or something that's special to them. And I think I love working with a little bit of a challenge too. So if someone was like, hey, we really like this cave, I'd be like, I'm going to work that cave. I'm going to make this cave the best cave ever.
Oh God, that is so nice. Okay, so if you were to spread a rumor about yourself, what would it
Yeah.
be?
That I'm the funnest, easiest going photographer there ever was. Probably something like that.
And that's absolutely true. You know, from the 10 minutes I've spent with you, that is so true.
Thank you.
If you were to write your autobiography, then what would you call
Yeah.
it?
My life in pictures.
That is Such an amazing title. Now I'm starting to think you've already thought about writing your autobiography, because that didn't seem like an on-spot answer. Because if that is, then you've got it.
That's the best thing. It's honestly, it's probably someone else's autobiography, but I think it would be something like that. It's so much easier to convey feelings and moments through photos for me.
That's so wonderful. That is so brilliant. Okay,
Mhm.
so how important do you think photography is to you?
Photography is really important to me. I mean, for me, it has been the way that I have learned how to connect with people. It's helped me come out of my shell. It's helped me understand people, and it's helped me develop really fantastic relationships as well. I think photography is just a way for me to talk to people in a way that is different and it's unique to me, but it works really well for me. And I love working with people and connecting with people. And I think it's the craziest thing that someone invites a stranger to come photograph the biggest, most important moment of their lives. And then I just walk around and take pictures and like see sneaky little things, and I get to be a part of something that's so intimate. I think it's really cool. And it's kind of crazy when I think about it that that's my job, that I come in and get to be a part of people's really grand, big moments in their life. And I'm just there, like as a fly on the wall, taking pictures, and I'm invited into their home and I'm embraced and they treat me so well. And I think that is like the craziest thing. And I feel really lucky to have a job like this.
That is so beautiful and so well said. So I have really enjoyed talking to you, and that concludes our interview for today. It was such a pleasure being able to converse with you today, and well done and good luck for the rest of your career up ahead.
You too. Thank you so much for this interview. It's been lovely.
Thank you. So, if you would like to know more about Jessilynn Wong and her photography, stay tuned with the Teen Pop magazine.